broadcast tonight, we get a look at the new Shippensburg Mayor.
And everything you need to know about this Thanksgiving break.
All that and more right now on SUTV News. Good evening and welcome to this week's broadcast with the latest news. I'm Walker Stutz.
And I'm Lex Boyd. The International Transgender Day of Remembrance is held in local communities and schools across the nation to memorialize those who have been killed due to anti-transgender acts. The Page Center at Shippensburg University is holding a celebration of life in Stewart Hall to remember those lives that were lost. The Page Center says all friends are welcome and wanted. Are you in the mood for a spectacular choral showcase? The Shippensburg University Concert Choir and Madrigal Singers are performing their winter concert this Saturday. For more on the story, here's SUTV's own Ian Impink with more information.
On Saturday, November 22nd, the Shippensburg University Concert Choir and Madrigal Singers are performing their winter concert, Choral Kaleidoscope, Beauty in Change and Possibility. The singers have been working diligently over the fall semester preparing unique and challenging pieces of music to perform for an audience. Some of these pieces consist of Swifter Than Flame, Sing We Now of Christmas, Ballet Laka, and Benediction, performed between both the ensembles. The choir director, Dr. Elizabeth Aragundi, has some words of what she's excited for the performance.
I am really excited for this fall concert because it is the most diverse repertoire I've ever programmed on a single concert, taking us everywhere from music coming from the Middle Ages the whole way up to modern times, and the choir is singing with an incredible energy.
The performance will be held in the sanctuary at the Shippensburg First Church of God on Saturday, November 22nd at 7:30 p.m. Doors open at 7 p.m. and parking is available behind the church. The choir wishes to see as many people as possible there. This has been SUTV's Ian Impink, and now I'll send it back to Lex and Walker at the desk.
Thanksgiving break is right around the corner here at Ship. Here's everything you need to know before leaving. Thanksgiving break begins the residence hall's closing at 6 p.m. on Tuesday, the 25th. If you wish to stay past the allotted time, you can. The requests were due on Monday. Prior to leaving for break, close and lock all windows and doors, close window blinds, and unplug all electrical items, empty all trash cans, and sign the checklist on your door. After everyone has left, your RA will conduct safety inspections. The 2026 Spring SGA and PSECU scholarships is now open for undergraduate students. 20 awards of $250 will go to random undergraduate applicants. To qualify for the scholarship, you must be an active PSECU member with good standing, a student returning for the spring semester, registered as a full-time student with 12 or more credits, and submit a short essay, 200 words or less, answering the question, how would you make Shippensburg University a better place for students? Applications are now open, and the deadline to submit is Friday, December 5th. The award winners will be notified by email no later than December 12th.
Sean Rogers has been elected as the new mayor of Shippensburg. Rogers is a 21-year veteran who describes his win as, quote, just coming off the battlefield, end quote. Rogers' plan for Shippensburg is to return the town to its former glory. Rogers was surrounded by plenty of family members on the night of his victory, and he is eager to get started on his mission for Shippensburg.
Coming up next, we'll take a look at the Epstein files being released.
And updates on protests happening in Mexico.
Updates to come after this.
Want to make your voice heard? Play your favorite music? Or cover the hottest campus events? At WSYC 88.7 FM, Shippensburg's student-run radio station, you control the mic. Whether you're into music, sports, talk radio, news, or podcasting, there's a spot for you. Join the team, build your skills, and have a blast while doing it. WSYC 88.7 FM, your station, your voice. Visit wsyc.squarespace.com to get started.
Here at Multicultural Student Affairs, we value every student. No matter your race or ethnicity, you are guaranteed a home here. MSA offers many resources: a place to study, a place to meditate, a place to socialize, or a safe place to communicate issues or talk with a faculty member. Come down to Gilbert Hall today and join our family. Our roots run deep. Why not grow together? This is a public service announcement from MSA.
Are you a commuter looking for a place to unwind between classes? The Commuter Lounge in Cub 209 is designed just for you. Relax and recharge with access to a kitchenette, board games, computers, and printers for your assignments. It's the perfect spot to study, take a break, or connect with other commuters at Shippensburg University. For access, scan the QR code outside of the lounge or email commute@ship.edu. Make the Commuter Lounge your go-to space at SHIP.
Now it's time to take a trip around the globe with Lindsay Smith and this week's World News.
A dramatic shift has occurred in the saga of the Epstein files. This past Tuesday, the House of Representatives overwhelmingly voted for the release of the files. Then, the act passed in Senate as well, and President Trump even signed it. The vote was made possible by the sudden and surprising support from President Trump and House Speaker Mike Johnson. Trump has been known for being against the release of the Epstein files in the past, calling the situation a hoax. However, due to the growing momentum, he and Speaker Johnson have surrendered and encouraged other Republicans to vote for the release. This has already been seen as a major victory, especially for many victims of Jeffrey Epstein's crimes. We will wait to see how the long-awaited release of these files affects the country and the many names within them. This past Tuesday, President Trump hosted the Saudi Prince Mohammed bin Salman at the White House. This meeting takes place 7 years after Saudi agents were said to have killed Jamal Khashoggi, a Washington Post journalist. However, all tensions seem to have resolved, as the meeting went over with great enthusiasm. A discussion included talks about past tensions between the U.S. and Saudi Arabia, as well as future business plans. One deal involved sending F-35 fighter jets to Saudi Arabia, but some officials are skeptical that the technology may be then shared with China. Prince Mohammed also stated that they would be increasing financial commitments to the U.S. to $1 trillion. Any questions about the killing of the journalist or Saudi Arabia's involvement were brushed aside during the interview with the leaders. We will have to wait and see what comes of these deals and what this means for both countries. Large protests organized by Generation Z took to the streets of Mexico City this past Saturday. Thousands of people gathered to protest crime, corruption, and impunity, demanding justice for the killing of a mayor of Urumapan, Carlos Manzo. Although Gen Z led them, these protests attracted people of all ages, even older supporters of opposition parties. What had started as a peaceful march quickly turned violent. The Associated Press stated protesters attacked police with stones, fireworks, sticks, and chains. According to the Mexico City government, violent groups were stealing their shields and launching explosive devices at them. The government released a statement saying a group of protesters wearing masks and labeled as Black Bloc were the ones responsible for the violence on Saturday. Pablo Vasquez, the Capitol Security Secretary, said 120 people were injured during the protest, 100 of them being police officers. 40 people have been arrested, 20 for administrative offenses and 20 for more serious charges. Bangladesh's former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina has been sentenced to death. This came after Hasina and Asaduzzahman, the Home Minister, used force to end student-led rebellions in 2024. During this time, 1,400 people were killed. After the rebellions, Hasina was removed from office and fled to India, where she remains today. Originally, Hasina was found guilty of 5 charges and was imprisoned until natural death. It was then decided during a tribunal that Hasina would be sentenced to death. Hasina responded saying that she was trying to control the situation in good faith. Today, Bangladesh is still struggling with political bickering under the new head of the interim government, Muhammad Yunus. A judge has ordered the Trump administration to end the National Guard deployment in Washington, D.C. Judge Gia Cobb came to the conclusion that the deployment of the National Guard violated the Constitution and intrudes on local authority. Cobb found that the president only has the power to call up the Guard, quote, through the exercise of a specific power outlined in state law, end quote. More than 2,300 troops were stationed in D.C. after Trump declared a, quote, crime emergency. The troops are expected to be there until next summer, according to attorneys from Attorney General Brian Schwab's office. This was your latest in world news. Now we're going to send it back to Lex and Walker at the desk.
Thanks, Lindsay. Up next, a look at the Game of the Year nominees.
And the new live-action remake.
More to come after this.
Whether it's our stories, the warmth of our laugh, or our family's secret sauce, we all bring something different to the table. So make some space. The power of connection is waiting right outside your comfort zone. Learn how you can help strengthen your community at belongingbeginswithus.org/teamup.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed.
The impact of a meal goes well beyond feeding our bodies. Because when people are fed, futures are nourished. Everyone deserves to live a full life. And with your help, together we can end hunger. Join the movement at feedingamerica.org/actnow.
Well, Walker, it's starting to get a bit cold, and I gotta say, I'm starting to feel a little bit cheery in this holiday season.
Yeah, I walked out of my house today and I had to put on a second coat. It was getting chilly, it was a little foggy, and a little bit of ice was on my windshield, so I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, I had to defrost my car and everything.
Absolutely. Let's turn it off to Ian Impink with your weekly weather report.
Hello everyone, welcome back to another chilly week of weather here at SUTV News. I am very pleased to say that we are exactly 1 week away from the second best holiday of the year, Thanksgiving. And I have to say, nothing goes together quite like some cold weather and some warm turkey and mashed potatoes. Not stuffing though, I can do without it. Sorry if that hurts anyone's feelings. And it being Thanksgiving, that means that Thanksgiving break is right there as well, which I know all you college kids are counting down till. So let's show you the weather you can expect to see over the weekend and heading into break. Following on par with most of this week, we saw a lot of clouds today with a high around 49. As we move into the night, it won't drop too much, staying cloudy and hovering around 40 degrees. Those clouds will start dropping some rain tomorrow with a chance of showers around 40%, as well as the high creeping back up into the mid-50s. That rain will keep following into the night, moving up to 70% as we drop down to 43 degrees. For the weekend, the sun plans on coming back out to say hello, keeping those temperatures in the low 50s for both days. Though, Saturday could bring some rain, and it will be slightly colder that night than on Sunday. But you throw on your jacket and you probably can't tell the difference. Coming back into the school week before break, we're going to stay in the 50s, and in fact, move up to 58 with that sun still playing its part. Then you move to Tuesday as the sun hides again, and we see some more of those rain clouds we saw on Friday, though just a 30% chance of precipitation and a high in the mid-50s. For the first day of Thanksgiving break, we could reach up to 60 degrees, while it's still partly cloudy and some light winds. And then, for the glorious Thanksgiving day, we're going to plummet down to 44 degrees, giving us some true Thanksgiving weather. I'm predicting that it's just going to be a fantastic week overall. Nothing could deter me from the joy that is Thanksgiving. Of course, with campus housing closing for break, make sure you're checking your local forecast for the most accurate weather information around you. Thank you for joining me this semester for the weather here on SUTV News. I'm Ian Impink. Happy holidays, and now we'll send you over to Callie Vincent with this week's entertainment news.
Disney had just released its new live-action Moana trailer, and it looks magical. Newcomer Catherine Legaye takes the role of Moana, with Dwayne Johnson reprising his role as demigod Maui. Alongside both actors is John Tui, playing Moana's father, Chief Tui, Frankie Adams as her mother, Sine, and Renee Owens as Grandma Tala. The trailer features sweeping ocean scenes, vibrant islands, landscapes, and a moment of adventure that feels faithful to the original. The movie will be directed by Thomas Kail and is set to release in theaters July 10, 2026. The Game of Year awards are right around the corner. With more, let's hear from SUTV's Evan Pahusky.
The most prestigious event in gaming is right around the corner. Here's what you need to know about the Game of the Year nominees. With 12 nominations across multiple categories, Claire Obscure Expedition 33 is the clear frontrunner for Game of the Year. Expedition 33 is a turn-based RPG from Sandfall Interactive, an indie studio. Fans praise the heart-wrenching story, beautiful score, and addictive combat for this game. From legendary video game creator Hideo Kojima and his team at Kojima Productions, Death Stranding 2 on the Beach balances out meditative gameplay with intense action segments. The surreal visuals paired with the amazing music made this sequel a one-of-a-kind experience to play. Donkey Kong Bonanza is Nintendo's representative for this year's Game of the Year awards. Releasing exclusively for the Nintendo Switch 2, Donkey Kong Bonanza is a must-play for fans of the 3D platformer genre. Hades 2, developed by Supergiant Games, is an explosive sequel that amps up the stakes from the previous installment. Play as Melinoe, Princess of the Underworld, and fight through dungeons in this addictive roguelite. Hollow Knight Silksong is the highly anticipated sequel to Hollow Knight and developed by Team Cherry. Praised for its difficult combat and platforming, Hollow Knight Silksong is the perfect challenge for seasoned players. The final nominee, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, is a hardcore RPG set in medieval Bohemia, developed by Warhorse Studios. Play as Henry and journey across the kingdom, shaping the future of Europe with your decisions. This year has seen an incredible series of video games. Choosing a Game of the Year is a difficult task. To see the winner and the latest game announcements, you can tune into the Game of the Year Awards, live on YouTube on December 11th.
After over 40 years of cinema, Tom Cruise finally won an Oscar. He was awarded an honorary Oscar, which isn't awarded for a category but for an accomplishment. The award was for his relentless devotion to cinema, along with him performing his own stunts. With a minute-long standing ovation, Cruise gave a speech on unity and loyalty in the world of Hollywood. With another Cruise movie on the horizon, we are bound to feel his love of movies through the screen. A new adaptation of Wuthering Heights is coming to the big screen. The classic novel from Emily Bronte is receiving its 8th theatrical adaptation next year. The new film is set to star Jacob Elordi and Margaret Robbie and is written directly by Emerald Fennell, an Academy Award-winning director whose previous work includes films such as Saltburn and Promising Young Woman. In surprise to some fans, the film's soundtrack is being produced entirely by Charlie XCX, with 2 songs from the album already being released by the artist. You can watch this film in theaters this Valentine's Day. Nintendo is gearing up for a massive year at the movies, with not one, but 2 major franchises making the leap from console to the big screen. First up, Super Mario Galaxy is officially in development, and this one is shaping up to be Nintendo's most visually ambitious animated film yet. The story will follow Mario and Luigi as they launch into the stars, teaming up with Rosalina and the Lumas to save the universe from a new cosmetic threat. Animators are reportedly pushing for a richer, more cinematic feel than the Super Mario Bros. Movies, with sweeping space environments and emotional character moments designed to personate with both longtime fans and newcomers. But that's not the only blockbuster on the way. Nintendo has also confirmed a live-action Legend of Zelda movie. Unlike previous animated adaptations, this version will blend real-world actors with fantasy landscapes, bringing Hyrule to life with a cinematic scale fans have never seen before. Producers promise a faithful adaptation with Link, Zelda, and several classic villains expected to appear. For fans of Nintendo's biggest franchises, these movies could mark a major step forward into the video gaming storytelling and a huge moment for the future of Nintendo Universe on film. This has been Callie Vincent with your week of entertainment news. Now back to Lexa Walker at the desk.
Thanks, Callie. When we come back, we're going to shoot it over to Samantha O'Connor when we return for the latest in Raider athletics.
All that and more when we return.
done the hard part. You quit smoking. Now do the easy part and get scanned for lung cancer. If you smoked, you may still be at risk, but early detection could save your life. Talk to your doctor and learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Hate is loud. It gets clicks. It gets attention. Hate, however, is actually quite small. But love is the majority. Love fills our hearts, our lives, our every day.
This weekend, Ship Field Hockey won quarterfinals against St. Anselm. The team played at home, beating out number 6 seed Team St. Anselm with a score of 3-0. Goals were scored from Auguste Garibaldi and Kayla Snyder in the second half, and Carme Caracoche Pinoque in the fourth quarter with just over 2 minutes left on the clock. Goalkeeper Emma Albee managed a quick save against St. Anselm during a penalty stroke, resulting in the 12th shutout of the season. The Raiders now go on to play Kutztown for the third time this year in the semifinals on Friday in Bloomsburg. The winner of the Friday's semifinal will face either number 1 seed Newberry or number 5 seed Westchester in the NCAA Division II championship game at Bloomsburg on Sunday. Women's basketball has tipped off their season with 2 games at home to start their long season. They hosted the 2025 Conference Challenge this past weekend and split the 2 games they played with a big win on Saturday evening. The win was highlighted by Abby Johns, who had an incredible performance in the second half to cap off an overtime win against Lincoln University. The Raiders then hosted another non-conference matchup last night against Point Park. Abby Johns led all Raider scorers again with 11 points. Mackenzie Thomas also tallied 10 points on 3 of 7 shooting from the field. The Raiders finished the game losing by 6 points. They will be back at home in December. Tuesday night, the Raider volleyball team hosted a PSAC quarterfinal matchup against UPJ at Higas Fieldhouse. The Raiders had a slow start to the night, losing the first 2 sets before rallying back and forcing a 5th set. The comeback was led by impressive performances from Izzy Bombas and Shea Kolovoski. Bombas tied her career high with 14 kills, which included a .565 hitting percentage. She also had 6 block assists and tied her career high with 3 solo blocks. Kolovoski led Shippensburg's defense with 15 digs and added on 5 assists to her impressive night. In the 5th set, the Raiders fell behind early due to a 6-0 run by the Mountain Cats and were forced to make yet another comeback. Despite a couple of late pushes, Ship ultimately lost the match, ending their PSAC tournament run. Even with the loss, the Raiders' national tournament aspirations are still intact as they await the committee's decision on Monday night. This past Saturday, the Raiders hosted Cal U at Seth Gross Stadium for their final matchup of the season. Ship could not get much done offensively, being held to just 10 points to Cal U's 35. Raider linebacker Nate Myers had 2 tackles for loss, resulting in a final season tally of 14 and a half. This was also the final game for Coach Mack, rounding out his 14th season as the head coach. Throughout his tenure, Mack has an all-time record of 88 wins and 69 losses in 15 seasons as the head football coach. Ship also honored 11 senior players before the game. The Raiders will be back at Seth Grove Stadium next fall. James Franklin, the former head coach of Penn State football, has joined Virginia Tech as their next head coach. The move was announced late last week, ending a long period of speculation about where Franklin would land after his departure from Happy Valley.
James Franklin was quick to arrive at his new coaching position and attended meetings with the university leaders and the athletic staff. The former Penn State head coach spent 12 seasons at Penn State, racking up 104 wins, a Big Ten title in 2016, and led the Nittany Lions to multiple bowl games, including a semifinal appearance just last season. Franklin brings his well-respected recruiting and development talents to the Hokies in the hope of making Virginia Tech a powerhouse football program once again. That's all for sports this week. I'm Samantha O'Connor. Now back to Lex and Walker at the desk.
When we come back, a new sauce that'll change the game this Thanksgiving.
When SUTV News returns.
Everyone has a ritual, that small thing to keep us focused.
A habit we never skip, to clear our minds and elevate our performance.
But what do you do to keep your head in the game? To drown out the self-doubt and support your mental health. Because being your best isn't just about taking care of your body.
It's about taking care of your mental health. Discover the resources that you need to keep your mind focused and your mental health a priority.
With Thanksgiving Day almost here, we're all starting to think about our favorite dishes. However, food company Heinz has come out with a last-minute Thanksgiving edition. Heinz leftover gravy sauce is here for a limited time. Inspired by the sitcom Friends, the gravy pays tribute to a famous sandwich from the show. The company has said it is made with real turkey broth, and the kit even comes with a recipe for the, quote, ultimate Thanksgiving leftover sandwich. It seems the Heinz leftover gravy sauce is already sold out at many locations, but it will be an interesting part of any Thanksgiving feast. Lucky enough to have it. Now, Walker, I'm a man who loves my gravy, but in a sauce bottle, it just feels a little wrong.
Yeah, I like my gravy on the mashed potatoes. I like the gravy on the stuffing. It's great. Those stuff it's dry, and I like the gravy on it. But the question is it microwavable? We know that Heinz ketchup is in the plastic bottle, mustard's all in plastic bottle, and I don't really want cold gravy on my mashed potatoes.
You can't have Thanksgiving with cold gravy. It's just awful.
Absolutely. Is it microwavable? Thank you for spending your evening here with us at SUTV. I'm Walker Stutz.
And I'm Lex Boyd. Join us next week for the latest news on and off campus. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, X, and Instagram at SUTV News, and check out our website, sutvnews.org.
Thank you, and have a good night.